Many days passed, and old Laurio's life remained peaceful. He didn't feel anything unusual, except for his heightened senses of sight and smell. According to him, he wasn't affected by weak countermeasures like simple prayers and chants. He also didn't feel anything unusual around any holy relics or replicas of sacred beings. Old Laurio added that despite his current state, he could still enter the church as if he were an ordinary person. The only thing he felt different was the warming of his entire body when he saw a lit candle or holy water. During those days, old Laurio's state gradually became noticeable to some healers. He ignored it, knowing he could defeat them if they became too threatening. He had long been patient with them. Looking for a reason to cross paths with them, he continued his daily life. One afternoon, while old Laurio was busy with household chores, some healers entered their yard. They carried weapons, which made him extremely angry. "Laurio, your friends are here looking for you. I'll watch over Jude." "Go talk to them," his wife said. Upon hearing Linda's call, old Laurio came down, visibly irritated. Upon reaching the door of their house, he saw the healers he knew. "Oh, Laurio. How have you been? We haven't seen you around the village." "Do you have a problem?" asked Master Pedrito. "I have no problem, Pedrito. And why are you looking for me?" "Did I do something wrong?" replied old Laurio. While he was speaking, some healers kept staring at his medallion. Noticing this, he quickly took off his necklace and hid it. "I know you know why we're here. Laurio, whatever you're planning, stop it. As long as we're here, I assure you, any demon spreading terror will face consequences," said Master Pedrito. Hearing this, old Laurio couldn't help but respond. "Why, Pedrito? Am I doing something? I live here peacefully without bothering anyone. I'm warning you. Don't test my patience. Remember, you're not the only ones with secret knowledge." With these words, Master Pedrito approached old Laurio for a serious conversation. As he spoke, old Laurio saw him slowly bringing a crucifix amulet closer. Just as it was about to touch his skin, old Laurio grabbed the cross, surprising all the healers. "Pedrito, I hold you in high regard, but I won't let you accuse me of things I haven't done. Leave now. You have no place in my home. You're only proving to me that your behavior contradicts your knowledge," said old Laurio. With these words, he took the elder to lead him out of their home. The healers remained silent, knowing they were wrong at that moment. As Master Pedrito left their home, their conflict began. "Are you sure, Laurio? You're hiding nothing? Don't deceive us. We know if a person's soul is pure or possessed by a demon. Surrender your medallion, so we have no more disputes," said Master Pedrito. Upon hearing this, old Laurio simply smiled while slowly closing their door. The healers had no choice but to leave his home, as many people were watching and listening to their conversation. As the healers walked away, they were startled by the appearance of old Laurio's very black dog. When they approached the animal, it ran under the house, where the goat pen and chicken coop were. They chose not to follow it, feeling nothing unusual. A few hours later, old Laurio heard his new masters call again. He was ordered to execute his plans to fulfill his pact with the demon. However, old Laurio refused, busy caring for their child. "Laurio, I trust you greatly. Don't fail me." "Failure means death," the copper whispered as it slowly vanished from his mind. After hearing this, old Laurio went under their house to check on the dog he was caring for. His wife didn't know, thinking it was just an ordinary dog. Upon reaching under their bed, he was greeted by a small, thin dog, about 4 or 5 months old, which couldn't yet reveal its true form, according to old Laurio. The dog had very black fur from head to toe, sharp ears, and a long tail. It didn't gain weight despite being fed 3 times a day. The only white parts were the edges of its eyes and teeth. You could see its ferocity, despite its young age. According to old Laurio, when he fed it at night, he could barely see or hear it. He only felt it licking him or eating the food he prepared. He added that the dog could speak through its mind, allowing him to feel its emotions and see important things it saw. As the creature approached him, it immediately imprisoned him. "Hurry, the time is near," old Laurio whispered. At twilight, old Laurio couldn't stay still in their home. The full moon affected his state as a skinwalker, making him feel extremely hot. No matter how much he fanned himself, he continued to feel the intense heat in his body and couldn't sleep. "Laurio, what's wrong? You've been fanning yourself, yet you're still sweating," said Linda, rocking their child. "Love, please close the door. I'm going out." "Don't worry. I'll be back soon. I just need some air," old Laurio replied. Hearing this, his wife quickly obliged, noticing his discomfort and restlessness. "Call me later, okay?" "I'll wait for you," Linda said as she opened the door. Old Laurio smiled as he walked out slowly. When he heard his wife close the door, he quickly ran to the back of their house, where the tall grasses were. His dog immediately followed him without making a sound. Continuing his run, he began to undress, feeling uncomfortable wearing clothes. The copper intermittently made its presence felt, as if preparing him for his transformation. Upon reaching a hill, old Laurio suddenly stopped, gazing at the large full moon. At that point, he felt his breathing slow and his voice deepen. He groaned as his body temperature rose, feeling thirsty and extremely hungry despite having dinner. A few minutes later, he collapsed to the ground, drooling and gasping for air. Moments later, old Laurio felt his new form's weight. His body contorted painfully as his dog bit his feet, dragging him. After a few minutes, his unusual sensations subsided. Looking at his hands, he was shocked to see sharp claws and hairy hands resembling those of a monkey. Looking at his dog, he saw it walking backward, its eyes glowing fiercely and its fangs dark. The creature grew, becoming as tall as an old goat. After the transformation, old Laurio felt a great lightness in his body. "Excellent, Laurio. You've achieved the first form of your demon self. Go forth and find the people I want you to kill." With these words, the dog howled, signaling old Laurio to head to the village. Before he could get close to the houses, ordinary dogs were already howling, warning of the approaching demon. Before we continue, if you enjoy stories like this, please like this video and subscribe. Don't forget to click the bell icon to get updates on our future videos. Let's continue the story. Old Laurio could sense the shamans preparing, as if they had detected his presence. As he approached a house, he quickly leaped onto its roof to observe the surroundings. Ordinary people couldn't sense him due to the invisible shields he released. His movements were so quiet that not even the faintest sound could be heard as he passed through the area. Old Laurio's faithful companion always followed him. Upon reaching Maestro Pedrito's house, he saw Pedrito standing outside with a few of his disciples. Moments later, he heard Pedrito instructing the other shamans to patrol the area. Old Laurio grinned, seeing this as an opportunity to instill fear in the shamans. As the disciples left, old Laurio stealthily moved closer to Maestro Pedrito. Although Pedrito couldn't pinpoint his exact location, he knew old Laurio was nearby. Stop playing games. Show yourself, demon. Master Pedrito shouted, trying to sense old Laurio's presence. Minutes passed. Pedrito suddenly turned toward the rustling sound in the grass. To his shock, he saw the demonic figure of old Laurio slowly approaching him, grinning with menacing eyes. Who are you? How did you get in here? Master Pedrito demanded, pulling out his stingray whip and several talismans. He began swinging his whip as he slowly approached old Laurio. Speak, demon. Who are you? Why are you here? Pedrito added. But old Laurio remained silent, staring intently at him. Realizing the demon wouldn't answer, Pedrito charged at him. As he cast protective spells, Pedrito's attacks missed their mark, while old Laurio continued to dodge effortlessly, his disdain evident. Pedrito was stunned when old Laurio caught his whip midair and grabbed him by the neck, bypassing his protections. You have no idea which demon you're dealing with. I could kill you now if I wished. Be grateful this isn't your destined time to die, old Laurio sneered. With those words, old Laurio blew a chant toward Pedrito's protective spell, causing it to dissipate where the air touched. Seeing his defenses crumble, Pedrito's face showed utter fear. Unable to look old Laurio in the eyes, Pedrito lost all faith and courage. Beg for mercy if you want to live, old Laurio taunted. Minutes later, Pedrito felt his strength wane and consciousness fade. As old Laurio was about to lower him to the ground, Pedrito's disciples arrived, witnessing him holding their master. They immediately attacked him. Armed with blades and cursed weapons, the disciples charged at old Laurio, who laughed while dodging their attacks. After speaking, old Laurio quickly left the shaman's house. Before fully departing, he chose to poison all the elders' protective charms, allowing hostile entities to enter. By 11 o'clock that night, old Laurio had returned home as if nothing had happened. Laurio, why didn't you finish off that elder? Do you want to prolong our agreement? Remember, if you remain a skinwalker for too long, you won't be able to return to your ordinary life, a copper warned. Don't worry. I know what I'm doing, old Laurio replied. The next morning, he went to the village center to check on Master Pedrito. He knew the elder was gravely ill since he saw malevolent spirits and entities enter Pedrito's house the previous night. Pedrito's disciples seemed unaware, believing their master was safe. As old Laurio passed the healer's house, he was shocked to see several shamans guarding the area. He also saw healers busy preparing medicinal herbs. Out of curiosity, old Laurio decided to investigate further. Approaching the house, the shamans allowed him inside. They told him that ever since the demon touched Master Pedrito, he had been afflicted with a curse-like illness. Within one night, the elder's entire soul was stricken, and even his spells and prayers lost their potency. Master Pedrito's body became paralyzed. Upon reaching Pedrito's room, they found 3 healers at work. One was performing a diagnostic ritual, while the other 2 chanted prayers over his body. Old Laurio was shocked to see 9 entities possessing the elder. According to old Laurio, if a sick person's eyes are sunken, a spirit might be disturbing them. If their pulse is weak, it could be 1 or more demons. And if both the soles and palms are sunken, it indicates possession by 9 or more entities. Mr. Laurio, what do you think is Master Pedrito's illness? Asked one disciple. Sorry, but I can't answer that. For now, we must trust the healers, old Laurio replied before leaving, feeling a sudden rise in his temperature. As he distanced himself from Pedrito's house, old Laurio smirked, reveling in the elder's suffering. That night, old Laurio continued to watch Pedrito's house, seeing disciples patrolling and healers working tirelessly. Weeks passed, and the elder slowly recovered with the help of his acquaintances. This news displeased old Laurio, fearing the elder might seek revenge. He avoided the village to prevent any trouble. They lived peacefully for weeks until the shamans sought out old Laurio again. This time, old Laurio's wrath intensified, targeting them for their continuous accusations and hostility. If you enjoyed our story today, please like this video and subscribe to stay updated on our next episode. If you have any opinions, just write them in the comments section, and I'll be happy to read them. Thank you, and see you in the next episode of the story of Laurio, the Skinwalker guided by a demon.